Picture this for a second. Your story's above the ground, right? You're wearing over 50 pounds of heavy, incredibly restrictive turnout gear. Below you, it's just a chaotic fire ground. And right in front of you is a window you need to force open, or maybe a hose line you've got to operate. But to actually do that, you have to completely let go of the ladder with both hands. So how do you keep from just falling backwards into thin air? Well, you lock yourself in. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're breaking down one of the absolutely most critical, high-stakes practical skills in the Florida Fire Minimum Standards exam, the ground ladder's leg lock. And look, this isn't just about checking a box to pass a test. This is literally about uncompromising life safety.
And here's the kicker. You really don't have all day to figure this out. You get exactly 4 minutes and 40 seconds. That's it. That is the strict, totally unforgiving time limit you're up against. In less than 5 minutes, you have to prove to the state examiner that you can flawlessly pull off a really complex sequence of physical maneuvers, plus all the verbal communications, without a single critical error. So the clock is ticking, the pressure is totally on, and every single step is going to count.
To get you that perfect score, we're going to walk right through the exact chronological rubric you'll face on exam day. We'll cover the leg lock challenge, the pre-climb checklist, ascending to the objective, the famous up 1 over 2 maneuver, returning to neutral, and wrap it up with the critical pass points.
Okay, let's jump straight into Section 1, the leg lock challenge, high stakes at height.
And right into Section 2, the pre-climb checklist, before you step up.
So here's the thing. You could literally have the most acrobatic, flawless leg lock in the world, but if you don't establish your situational awareness with the examiner while your boots are still firmly on the dirt, you're already behind. You actually have to rapid-fire 9 specific verbalizations to the state examiner. It's kind of like you're painting a picture of a totally safe fire ground for them. You've got to explicitly state, "I am wearing full PPE." You have to say you'll notify incident command, monitor conditions, and go on air if it's an IDLH, an immediately dangerous to life and health environment. On top of that, you need to notify both interior and exterior crews of what you're doing. Tell them you'll have a charged backup hose line, you'll shut down utilities, identify a second means of egress, and work from the windward side whenever possible. Honestly, rattling all this off proves you aren't just a robot climbing a ladder. You're a thinking firefighter actively managing a complex scene.
All right, Section 3, ascending to the objective, the climb.
So, you verbally secured the scene, and now you finally step up to the base. But wait, before your foot even leaves the ground, you face a huge physical checkpoint. And honestly, this is one of the most common, heartbreaking automatic failures we see. Do not just look at the ladder and say, "The ladder is safe." The word safe by itself, it means nothing here. You absolutely must definitively state the ladder is safe and secure, or the ladder is safe and healed. Why? Well, because adding the words secure or healed actually proves you've confirmed the mechanical or human element that's keeping that ladder from sliding right out from under you. It's a massive, massive distinction.
Okay, now you climb. And as you're going up, you have to narrate your actions out loud. You're literally telling the examiner, "Using my legs to climb and maintaining 3 points of contact." You're aiming for a really smooth, controlled climb here, no bouncing around. Once you hit the assigned rung where your hypothetical work needs to happen, you stop. Like stop completely. You verbalize, "I have reached my work position." Don't just rush into the lock right away. Take a breath, get stable, and prepare for the main event.
Which brings us to Section 4, up 1 over 2, the climax.
Before you move a single muscle, you announce, "Preparing to establish a leg lock." Now, let's break down the exact mechanics of this. Say your work is on the right side. You're going to step up, 1 rung with your right foot. Then you take your opposite leg, your left leg, and bring it over the very next rung up. You just slide it right through the gap and wrap the back of your knee firmly over that locking rung. Finally, you step down just a little bit to drop your body weight into the lock. It kind of sounds like a dance step, doesn't it? But honestly, when you're wearing 50 pounds of gear, it requires just as much coordination.
And that brings us to the absolutely most important mantra of the entire practical exam. Up 1 over 2. You have to say it out loud to the examiner. They are specifically waiting to hear that exact phrase. It proves you aren't just blindly threading your legs through the ladder rungs and hoping for the best, right? It shows intentional, textbook execution. Step up 1, bring the opposite leg over 2. Now pay close attention because this is the ultimate physical pass/fail checkpoint. Once your leg is over the rung, where does your foot actually go? Hooking the toe of your boot securely around the vertical beam of the ladder is literally the only correct method.
If you mistakenly hook or rest your foot on the horizontal rung below it, that foot can easily slide sideways, the lock totally fails, and you're falling backwards. Hooking the beam gives you a solid physical stop. Hooking the rung is an instant pack-your-bags automatic failure. Hook the beam, for sure, every single time.
Once you've got that foot securely on the beam, you just settle into your final working position. So you should be standing on the original rung where you stopped, your opposite leg is wrapped securely, your foot is hooked on the beam, and incredibly, your hands are now completely free to swing an axe or pull down a ceiling. You can confidently look right at the examiner and state, "Leg lock established, maintaining a secure work position, maintaining situational awareness." Boom, you've conquered the climb.
Next up is Section 5, returning to neutral, the safe return. So you're still way up in the air. Fatigue is definitely setting in right about now. And honestly, this is exactly where candidates start losing their focus. Unlocking safely and transitioning back to a climbing posture, that's scrutinized just as harshly as locking in was. Remember, gravity is not your friend here, so your descent has to be super methodical. You start by telling the examiner, preparing to remove the leg lock. Then you essentially just reverse the process. Unhook your foot from the beam first, carefully bring that locking leg back through the ladder space, and then, and this is absolutely vital, you must place both feet side by side on the exact same rung. You have to completely stabilize your body weight before you even think about moving down.
We call this the neutral position. It just means both feet are placed safely on the same rung before you descend. You have to clearly state, returning to neutral position. Both feet are on the same rung. Look, if you unhook your leg and then immediately try to step down to the next rung in one fluid rushing motion, you're going to fail. The examiner needs to see that distinct, balanced pause. Once neutral is verified, you announce you're descending in a controlled manner, making sure to maintain your 3 points of contact all the way back down to the ground.
And finally, Section 6, Critical Pass Points, the Golden Rules.
All right, we've walked through the whole sequence, so let's really distill this down into the ultimate takeaways. If you are going to memorize literally anything from this explainer today, please make it this final review. These are the traps, the automatic failures that will straight up send you home. Do not hook your foot on the rung instead of the beam. Do not settle for an incomplete lock where you feel wobbly. Do not descend before establishing that neutral 2 feet on one rung position. Do not bounce or lose control of the ladder. And absolutely under no circumstances forget to explicitly verify that the ladder is safe and secure, or safe and healed, before you step up.
To make this completely foolproof, you've got to commit this phrasing right to your muscle memory. Safe and secure. Up 1, over 2, hook the beam, neutral before down. If you verbalize that exact sequence and perfectly match your body movements to those words, you are going to hit every single major evaluator checkpoint. But here's a thought I want to leave you with today. The exam is highly choreographed, sure, but out there on a smoke-filled fire ground at 2 a.m., when you literally can't even see the rungs below you, will this mnemonic just be a test answer you memorized, or will it be the exact muscle memory that actually saves your life? Learn it until you can't get it wrong. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Stay safe and train hard.